Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Goddess Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. Uncertainty is not the end of the path. It is the sacred curve where your soul learns to fly by faith. In today's episode, we are tuning into 5 key frequencies that can anchor our light in any space. These 5 frequencies will help us to remain sovereign and our energy sacred in a world that often vibrates below our soul's resonance. So what is low vibing energy? Before we get into the 5 frequencies, let's talk about low vibing energies. Low vibing energy is energy that is denser and slower. It is a state of vibration that feels heavy, stagnant, or emotionally dense. It often carries the weight of unresolved emotions, unexpressed truth, and energetic patterns rooted in fear, control, or suppression. This energy may feel draining, tense, and misaligned with the soul's natural rhythm of harmony, joy, and expansion. It can show up in environments, conversations, media, relationships, and internal states that feel closed, looping, or stuck. So what can happen when we operate in low vibing energy? Things that can happen. Emotional looping. We may replay the same stories, hurts, or fears without resolution. Emotions like guilt, resentment, or apathy become habitual rather than healing. We may experience energetic fatigue. Even with rest, the soul feels tired. There's a sense of being off, burdened, or uninspired, like our life force isn't fully flowing. We can experience reactive behavior. Decisions are made from survival, fear, or control, rather than trust or alignment. Reactions may override intuition or higher wisdom. We can experience blocked manifestations. Instead of receiving or magnetizing, we chase, force, or settle. We can experience disconnected relationships. Communication can feel strained or surface level. Without energetic clarity, misunderstandings or misalignments tend to increase. We can experience internal conflict. A quiet resistance brews within. One part of you longs to rise, while another stays anchored to patterns that no longer serve your highest good. We can experience loss of inner guidance. The voice of the soul grows faint. Intuition, creativity, and clarity feel distant or muffled. We can experience frequency fog. Life can feel like walking through mist, unclear, aimless, or dull. Even beauty or blessings may be harder to feel or receive. Keep in mind that low vibing frequency is a frequency pattern, not an identity. With self-awareness, compassion, and spiritual frequency hopping, anyone can rise into clarity, vitality, and soulful alignment. Now, the first frequency that can help you thrive in uncertain times is number 1, the frequency of peace. The frequency of peace is a steady, anchored state of inner stillness and trust. It is the vibration of calm presence where the heart is open, the mind is clear, and the body feels supported by something greater. In this frequency, time softens and awareness expands. It allows for ease in the breath, gentleness in action, and a quiet confidence that all is unfolding in divine rhythm. Peace speaks in silence, moves with grace, and holds space for truth without needing to control the outcome. When you are in harmony with the frequency of peace, there's a feeling of openness, inner quiet, and calm, even in discomfort. Now, a daily practice that you can use with the frequency of peace is the divine pause. We talked about divine pause in the last episode. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, go back and listen and come back. But you can pause before responding. And then you can choose silence over reacting. For example, when someone's energy feels chaotic, you take a deep breath and say, I can choose peace in every moment. Or you can say, I choose peace. Say this silently as you center yourself rather than engage their storm. The second key frequency that we can use to thrive in uncertain times is the frequency of self-awareness. The frequency of self-awareness is the energy of noticing yourself clearly. It means being present with your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and understanding how they shape your experience. This frequency helps you live in truth, grow with intention, and stay connected to who you are. When you are in harmony with the frequency of self-awareness, there's a feeling of clear internal vision and a knowing when it's you and when it's not. A daily practice that you can use, of course, is who am I? When you ask yourself, who am I? And sit for a moment in stillness, your higher self, your goddess guide self, will answer you. We talked about this in the episode of the divine pause, the still point frequency, in our last episode. If you haven't had a chance, you can go back and get caught up on that. Who am I? Notice patterns and journal your triggers. This is a judgment-free zone. Be gentle with yourself and give yourself grace. For example, you recognize that a draining conversation left you exhausted. And instead of blaming, you ask, where did I override my truth? Keep in mind, you meet no one but yourself. We are all reflections of each other. So if you're having a rough time with someone, if someone has lied to you, deceived you, taken advantage of you, if someone is being too rough with you, crossing boundaries or disrespecting you, ask yourself, where within myself have I done those things to myself? Because no matter where we are, we meet no one but us. Everyone is a mirror and they're reflecting some frequency within us. The third key frequency that you can use in uncertain times is the frequency of discernment. The frequency of discernment is the energy of inner clarity and sacred knowing. It is the ability to sense what aligns with your truth and what feels guided by deeper wisdom. This frequency helps you to recognize energy, intention, and timing with precision. Discernment creates space for wise choices, clear boundaries, and intuitive decisions that support your highest path. It is a quiet strength that honors what feels true without needing to explain or justify. When you are in harmony with the frequency of discernment, there is a feeling of energetic clarity and spiritual boundaries without needing permission. A daily practice that you can do is listen beneath the words and see beyond the mask or veil. For example, you sense when someone's kindness is performative or when a yes in your mouth is a no in your spirit. And you honor that knowing without guilt. When I think of the frequency of discernment, I can always hear Kenny Rogers, the gambler, playing in the back of my mind. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. And when the deal is done, I love that song. And so when I think of the frequency of discernment, I hear that song playing in my head because for a long time, that was my lesson. I would always give people like 1,000 second chances, the benefit of the doubt. And I just would allow people to come in and out of my life. And then finally, I began to do the work that I'm telling you. I started noticing the patterns. I started seeing my triggers. I started seeing the reflection. And then I went inside of me to do the work. And then I realized, no, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. And you got to know when to run, right? This is the frequency of discernment. Johnny Well, Kenny Rogers. The fourth key frequency that you can use to thrive in uncertain times include the frequency of letting go. The frequency of letting go is the energy of release and trust. It is the vibration of opening your hands and heart, allowing what has served its purpose to move on. In this frequency, there is spaciousness for renewal, freedom and surrender, and peace in the unfolding. Letting go honors cycles, clears space for alignment, and welcomes the unknown as part of divine flow. When you are in harmony with the frequency of letting go, there's a feeling of freeing yourself from attachments and releasing a tight grip on the outcome. As a daily practice, you can declutter. Declutter not just your home, but your energetic field. For example, you unfollow social media accounts that lower your vibration. You stop rehearsing that old argument in your head. You don't need closure. Instead, you choose freedom. You release the need to feel like you won. You release the need to be right. You release the need to know all the answers. You release the fear of missing out. You release people in love. This was a big lesson for me, letting go. Because when I find good people, beautiful lights, beautiful souls in the world, I want forever. But I had to learn that nothing lasts forever, not even relationships. So in the past, I would stay in relationships way too long. These were relationships that had run their course. It took me a while to see the pattern. Some were one-sided, with me making a larger investment or carrying the emotional weight. I had outgrown some people in some ways, and we were no longer aligned. In others, the purpose had been fulfilled, and it was time for me to go. Embracing the frequency of letting go helped me to master my sacred energy. And the last key frequency that you can use to thrive in uncertain times is the frequency of surrender. The frequency of surrender is the energy of complete trust and divine order. It is a deep release into presence where the soul softens its grip and aligns with a greater rhythm. In this frequency, guidance is welcomed, outcomes are offered up, and the moment becomes a sacred container for transformation. Surrender opens the heart to receive, allowing life to move through you with grace and wisdom. When you are in harmony with the frequency of surrender, there's a feeling of deep trust in your goddess, God self, and the great cosmic mother, or whatever you call God, universe, however you say it. You trust in the flow of life and offer your full presence to the unknown. Now, as a daily practice, you can speak the mantra, I am safe and open to what is becoming. I meet the unknown with trust, presence, and grace. I am safe and open fully to what is becoming. I meet the unknown with trust, presence, and grace. For example, a conversation doesn't go the way you hoped. Instead of over-explaining, you let silence do its sacred work. You surrender the idea of control, knowing that you cannot control most things, especially how others perceive you. Instead, you hand the outcome to Spirit. Now, this one was really big recently for me, not as a lesson for myself, but just what I observed in others. For example, I've been seeing things online, even though I'm not posting the way that I was before. I go online and I kind of look just for a moment to see what's going on in the world, especially within the United States, because that's where I'm from. That's my home country. And what I'm seeing is I'm seeing people being deleted online. I saw 2 people deleted down on the strip in Vegas. I saw a couple deleted in Georgia on Facebook Live. It's like crazy. I see the protests going on in LA, and it's just so much going on within our country, so much violation, right? And I strongly believe that if everyone just embraced these 5 key frequencies, that we all could thrive in these uncertain times. Knowing when to fold, knowing when to hold, knowing when to walk away, and knowing when to run. Being okay with surrendering, releasing, letting go, and just embracing the frequency of peace and self-awareness, being aware of who you are, knowing who you are, and seeing yourself clearly, holding that energy, that frequency within yourself. If we could all do that, the world would be a better place. Okay, it would be a better place. The frequency affirmation of the day. I am a vessel of divine energy. My energy is sacred, sovereign, and shielded in truth. I release what is not mine, and I yield to the divine guidance of my inner light. I am a vessel of divine energy. My energy is sacred, sovereign, and shielded in truth. I release what is not mine, and I yield to the divine guidance of my inner light. I'll leave you with this final thought. You are here to bring light into the world, rooted, aware, and fully present. When you embody the frequencies of peace, self-awareness, discernment, letting go, and surrender, you become a living transmission of clarity and grace. You thrive when you expand into your true light by being fully present and letting it shine through each moment. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. I'm the universe, now what? If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to reclaim their energetic power. Wherever you're tuning in the world, don't forget to click that like, comment, and subscribe. And until we speak again, be the light.